Welcome back to the TaraChessAcademy, and today we're going to look at a position to learn how to attack the castle king.
Hi everyone. So for today we have an interesting position. You can see it on the chessboard. You see that black has like some pieces that are looking at the position of the white king. Same time the black king is still in the center, but not so clear what white could do and how white could start an attack here. Yeah, so white can't use an open file like to get to d7 or to d8 because both of the squares are defended. So same time you see that the black knight is pinned. So like let's think if there is something black can do. So when you play a game, sometimes it's not so clear if now it's the right moment to start an attack or maybe to have some tactics, sacrifices. So let's have a look at the position and just let's think what are our like feelings and ideas about it. So Tara, what ideas do you have? What do you think about this position?
So before I talk about my ideas, I just wanted to say a couple words about this topic. So whenever you want to attack the castle king, you should always look for potential weaknesses. So in this position, you should analyze the king, see if there's any weak squares, and see how you and come up with a plan with how you want to attack the king. So first, you should always start with that idea. Look at the king's position, look at the pieces surrounding it, and see if you find any openings or any potential squares or targets to attack. And then second, you should always look for checks because checks can weaken their position and you could sometimes find a potential sacrifice or combination by looking at these checks. And the last thing is to look for powerful captures. So look at the pieces you can capture, see if it helps your position. So once again, make sure to look at the king's position, look at all the checks you have and see if they're good, and also look at the captures and sacrifices. So
Yeah,
in
I
this
agree.
position, I can see that the king does not look so weak. It does look weak because we have a bishop aiming at b1 and c2, and the king is kind of opened. It's not really closed, but it's just open because it has all these open squares. And you can also see there's a lot of pieces surrounding the king, but it doesn't necessarily make the king safe. So this position is not so good. So let's look for the checks, as I said before. I see knight to b3. I see queen to b2. Bishop captures b2. Knight to d3. So once you've come up with all your checks, then it's time to analyze them. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say we can eliminate everything except knight to b3 because we're always looking for openings, and I feel like this move creates more weaknesses to the king.
Yeah, and maybe also first, like our like first of all, candidate moves should be checks with captures. Yeah, so first we could discuss queen takes b2, bishop takes b2. For now, white has to take. I don't see any good checks. We probably need to get the queen back, and then position like this happens. Black has much less attacking pieces, so I think that if we trade queens, not good for us. The queen is a strong piece and we need it in our attack. So queen takes b2 doesn't look great. Now maybe we can go to the bishop takes b2. White's still gonna capture. Yeah, if we trade queens, we get similar position. Yeah, previous position. So also not so clear what could black do in this position. I don't see any good checks. I don't see any forks. So probably queen b2 and bishop b2, both of these moves don't work. Now maybe we can go to other candidate moves. Yeah, so to other checks. Okay, so Tara, first maybe we could start with knight d3. So maybe our plan later is try to deflect the white queen and mate on b2, but I'm not sure that it works. Let's see. So bishop takes d3, and now what happens, the black queen is attacked, right? So if our plan was to play bishop takes d3 and white can't get it back with the queen, yeah, it doesn't work, so we just lose our queen in this position after bishop takes b6. So I just don't see what black can do after bishop takes d3. The queen is attacked, so probably knight d3 is not the best move. And could you remind us, please, what was your last candidate move? What was another check that you were thinking about?
So the last check I was thinking about was knight to b3 because
Mhm.
knight to d3 looks similar, but as you said, it doesn't work. So my idea is once the pawn captures the knight, because I'm sure the king doesn't want to move since we'll lose the queen. So let's say the pawn captures the knight.
Yeah, so white doesn't have any choice.
hmm
Okay.
Now we can see that our queen is being attacked. And I would say it's not worth it to just capture the pawn on b3 because we sacrificed a whole knight for this, and I don't think getting a pawn back is worth the compensation.
Yeah,
But
so nothing happens after
yeah,
queen b3. So let's think what else we could do.
so what I do notice is that the a file is almost completely open, and if we
Mm-hmm.
can get our queen to a1, if you imagine the queen from b3 from b6 to a1, that would actually be a checkmate in one move. So let's aim for this goal. So, how do you think we can get our queen to a1?
So, of course,
Well,
not
I
in
was
one move. I
thinking,
think it takes two moves, right?
yeah, right. So I was thinking queen to a6.
Uh-huh. So now you just want to mate me in one. And the problem is that the white king doesn't have any moves at all. Not so clear what white could do. There is no chance for white to block a file for the black queen. What can I do? Maybe I would try to play bishop d3 to block your light square bishop and just to move my king to c2. Maybe you can ask your viewers to pause the video here and try to calculate what happens after bishop d3.
Yes, so viewers at home, please pause and try to come up with what you think the solution is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, three, two, one. So here the solution would be queen to a1 check. And once the king goes to c2, we can play queen captures b2 checkmate. So if you found this move, good job. You captured the queen. It's supported by the bishop, and the king has nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's nice. And by the way, let's also discuss what happens if the bishop goes to b1 in this position.
If that move is played instead, we can get the same goal. So we can play queen captures b1.
Yeah, this time we don't take the pawn on b2 because it's defended by the white queen, but we can capture the bishop. So you see how strong black bishops are and how they help us. Yeah. Okay, so if we go back, it looks like bishop d3 after queen a6 doesn't help white to defend position of the king. What else could white do? Maybe the white queen just could move away and then d2 becomes an available square for the king, kind of like an escape square. So let me try maybe queen b4. So what to do then? How to continue our attack?
I would play queen to a1, still the same move.
Hmm. Okay, interesting. So of course I have to move the king to d2. What happens then?
So now I would like to ask all the viewers at home once again to pause the video and see if you can find the tactic in two moves that almost wins the game
Mm-hmm.
or gets you in a winning position. Okay, so now that I've given you a couple seconds, let's talk about the solution here. So here the right move is queen captures b2.
Check. Yeah, so the king has to move to e1. It can't move anywhere else because we control all the squares. So, okay, king e1.
And now hopefully you found the move bishop to c3, attacking the king and the queen. Do you remember what this is called?
I don't
A
know.
fork.
Remind me, please.
Yeah, this is called a fork. You're attacking two pieces with one. So it's kind of like at dinner time when you have a fork, you can grab two different food items at one. So kind of like that, this is the chess form of the fork. You attack the king and the queen at the same time. Once the king moves away, we can capture the white queen.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's better for white to trade the queen for the bishop, yes, and just like let black to capture it. So queen takes, and yeah, it should be an absolutely winning position for black. So black has a queen and two pawns for a knight and the bishop. So 11 points for 6 points, 5 extra points, weak position of the king. Yeah, so probably it's time for white to resign.
Yeah.
So I think this example is very nice because it's not like an absolutely forced variation, right? So we start with a check, yeah, so it should be like our first candidate moves. But then you see we have to find this attacking move, queen a6, and there is nothing white can do against queen a1. So not always in your games you're gonna win by forced moves, yeah, by forcing combinations. So sometimes you have to like make some moves without checks or without captures, just attacking moves, and these moves would be the best for you.
So once you've watched this video, what I would recommend to all of you to do at home is to try a couple puzzles on this topic. So I believe in lichess.org, if you go to the puzzle dashboard, you can see puzzles there. I remember there's one section that says learn how to attacking the castle king. So using these ideas from this video, you can try those puzzles and test your understanding. And if you feel like you need a review of the understanding, or if you feel like you didn't get the concept based on how you solve the puzzles, then you can always go back and rewatch this video again.
Yeah.
So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to others. I'll see you on my next video. Bye!
Bye.